The ERi-TV news broadcast crew and I, Delayed Sahaya, are now ready for your daily news briefing at 10:30 local time. But first, let us catch up with the major headlines. Successful efforts to expand educational services. Eritrean delegation to West Africa's Commission of Human Rights sessions. Congolese troops advanced into Ruzizi plan after M23 withdraws. Russia and India foreign ministers hold talks in New Delhi. Proceeding with our reports. Dr. Halima Mohammed, Minister of Education, said that as a result of the strong efforts exerted to provide educational services, opportunities equally and equitably across the country, immense achievements have been registered in expansion of educational facilities, the participation and competitiveness of females, as well as the eradication of illiteracy. In an interview with the national media outlets in connection with 35th Independence Day anniversary, Dr. Halima said that the most fundamental policy of educational in Eritrea is tied to realization of social justice. She said that the government has worked persistently to expand access to education, even in the most remote corners of the country, and that significant achievements have been recorded over the past 35 years. Dr. Halima further noted that number of preschools, which stood 359 in the 1991-1992 academic year, increased by 544% in 2024-2025 academic year, reaching 1,952. The number of elementary schools has increased from 381 to 1,097, junior schools from 65 to 469, high schools from 25 to 132, Dr. Halima added. Regarding the number of students and teachers, Dr. Halima said that the number of students at all levels, which over 267,000 in 1991-1992 academic year, increased to 880,000 in 2024-2025 academic year, while the number of teachers increased from 5,456 to 29,448. Noting that earnest efforts is still required to technical and vocational training, Dr. Halima indicated that the number of technical schools has increased from 2 to 6. Dr. Halima further said that the Ministry of Education is focusing on expansion access, particularly in lowlands and remote areas, reforming curricula to strengthen vocational pathways, improving teachers' recruitment, training and working conditions, decentralizing and operations, strengthening research and evidence-based planning, modernizing schools with ICT, virtual labs, and digital libraries, and enhancing parental and community involvement. An Eritrean delegation led by Mr. Binam Berhe charged the affairs at the Eritrean Embassy in Ethiopia and Eritrea's permanent representative to the AU and the Economic Commission of Africa participated on 87th Ordinary Session of the African Commission of Human and People's Rights. The Gambia from 11th to 20th May, addressing the session on 13th May, Mr. Binam said that a few days on 24th May, Eritrea will celebrate its 35th anniversary of independence under the theme, Our Resilience, Our Guarantee. In celebration of this momentous occasion, Eritrea renews their oath to fulfill the martyrs' vision by building peaceful and prosperous nation. Mr. Binam went on to say that despite the turbulent regional and international environmental and persistent external pressures, the government of Eritrea remains firmly committed to the promotion of human rights through the people-oriented and holistic approach. He added that Eritrea has continued to register tangible progress in key sectors linked to improving the well-being and living standards of its people. Noting that Eritrea's achievements in the promotion of human rights are deeply rooted in the principles of social justice and strong community participation, Mr. Binam reiterated The community-led infrastructure development and public mobilization campaigns continue to serve as an important mechanism for advancing sustainable development and ensuring local ownership of the national program. While acknowledging the progress achieved, Mr. Binam underlined Eritreans remain fully aware of the several challenges persist. Nevertheless, he said Eritrea remains committed to continuing the people-centered development trajectory, strengthening national institutions, expanding access to essential services, and enhancing realization of all human rights for its people. The delegation also gave briefing on the forum conducted on 12th May, focusing on Eritrea's experience in ensuring supply of water and community-based environmental sanitation. The video supporting briefing focusing on the efforts Eritrea has been exerting through internal initiatives and capacity to ensure the supply of potable water, including construction of dams, rehabilitation of water catchments, afforestation, and establishment of water diversion centers, among others. The Minister of Agriculture branch in Northern Red Sea region reported that encouraging agricultural infrastructure activities have been carried out over the past years since independence. Mr. Solomon Walda-Mikael, head of the branch office, said that water diversion schemes covering over 15,000 acres have been constructed along with water reservoirs with total holding capacity of over 54 million cubic water. Accordingly, 47 microdams with holding capacity of over 2.3 million cubic meters of water have been constructed. This includes 7 microdams in Afabet subzone with holding capacity of over 1 million cubic meters of water, 15 microdams in Ginda subzone with holding capacity of 700,000 cubic meters, and water reservoirs in the subzone of Aurora and Adobha with holding capacity of over 200,000 cubic meters. Noting that Gahtalai Dam, with holding capacity of 50 million cubic meters of water, is one of the major agricultural infrastructure in the region. Mr. Solomon said that the water reservoirs are significantly contributing to ensuring water supply for both humans and livestock, as well as agricultural development in the region. Mr. Solomon also commended the strong participation of the public and members of the defense forces in the construction of the water reservoirs. An Eritrean delegation led by Mr. Beyene Rosom, Eritrea's ambassador to Kenya, participated in the Africa Forward Summit convened in Nairobi, Kenya from 11th to 12th May. The summit jointly hosted President William Ruto of Kenya and President Emmanuel Macron of France and attended by over 30 leaders of foreign ministers was aimed at establishing mutual beneficial partnership between African countries and France for sustainable development goals. The summit also adopted various resolutions in introduction of new technology investment, expansion of knowledgeable transfer, improving agricultural activities, food security, climate change mitigations, on other significant issues. In the same vein, nationals in Belgium celebrated 35th Independence Day anniversary in the city of Brussels from 9th May under the theme Our Resilience, Our Guarantee. Mr. Girmay Gabrihuet, Secretary of Eritrean Community, called on the nationals to strengthen their organization, unity, and participation in the national development programs. Congratulating the Eritrean people inside the country and abroad, as well as Eritrean Defense Forces, Mr. Mikael Tesfaye, Secretary of the Eritrean Embassy, underlined the significance of participation in all citizens in the implementation of the national development programs. Likewise, Mr. Fisahaye Petros, Eritrea's ambassador to Italy, a non-resident ambassador to Sweden, and Mr. Mohammed Ali Mohammed Said, chargé d'affaires at the Eritrean Embassy in Scandinavian countries, held a fruitful meeting with Mr. Dank Hartelis, Swedish State Secretary for Foreign Affairs, and other officials in the ministry. The two sides conducted extensive discussions on mutual cooperation and Eritrean role in the regional issues. They also agreed a work partnership to strengthen diplomatic and economic programs, and members of the PFDJ in Rotterdam and its environs conducted a 3-day activity assessment meeting and elected new executive members. Straight ahead is our international news after a short break. Welcome back. Congolese soldiers and allied Wazalendo fighters deployed in Ruzizi Plain in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo on Tuesday after M23 rebels withdrew from the several Democratic Republic of Congo positions in southern Kivu province. The advance marks a significant shift in the conflict that reignited in early 2025 when Rwanda-backed M23 rebellion resumed its offensive eastern Congo, capturing territories across north and south of Kivu. The recent withdrawal from the parts of Ruzizi Plain comes aimed at renewed diplomatic efforts through fighting continuous in several areas in the east. The latest military development comes as Qatar and the United States, an African mediator, continues effort to revive peace talks between Congo and Rwanda and the AFC M23 alliance following the Washington Peace Agreement signed in 2025 and separate Doha negotiation aimed at a securing ceasefire in the border political statement. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov held discussions with the Indian counterpart in New Delhi on Wednesday. Lavrov is in India to take part in the BRICS Foreign Ministers meeting in New Delhi, held under India's chairmanship. The two sides will also discuss regional and global issues, including the conflict in the Middle East and related uncertainties over the global supply chains, the Russian Foreign Minister said ahead of the talks in New Delhi and Moscow have shared interest in strengthening multilaterality, adding that the two nations will also benefit from de-risking and diversification, reaffirming the energy cooperation in the aftermath of the Middle East crisis. The pressure exerted in India and Western nations over the purchase of the Russian oil and neo-colonial, Lavrov said in an exclusive interview with RT India aired on Wednesday. He praised India's firm stance in imports of the oil and other energy resources despite the pressure from the partners in the West. Regarding Russian-Indian ties in defense, Lavrov noted that Russia supported India's domestic manufacturing of weapons before it became part of the Make India Great initiative. On our last report, Ukraine and Lithuania have signed a drone deal, Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky said on Wednesday. A Ukrainian military expert team will work in Lithuania to develop necessary security capabilities to counter modern threats and strengthen the security of our country and entire region, Zelensky said after meeting in Lithuania President in Barches. The challenges we face are shared and we must overcome them together, he added. Dear viewers, we've come to the end of tonight's news. Let's have a quick recap of the headlines. Successful efforts to expand educational services. Eritrean delegation addressed African Commission of Human Rights session. Congolese troops advanced in Ruzizi Plain after M23 withdrawal. And Russian and Indian foreign ministers hold talks in New Delhi. And that was the news from ERi-TV studios. This has been the Eritrea reporting. Thanks for watching and have a good night.